Our training video today will be on your VAT return or your VAT return and how to do one. To find your VAT return, you would go to your left-hand side of the screen, look for Accounts, click on that, then look for your box or this VAT return, and once you find that, you can go ahead and click on that. Now before we actually run a VAT return or VAT return, there's a few options that we need to make sure that we complete. So the first thing is obviously your description. Now here, depending on what period you're going to be running your VAT return, just go ahead and change the description. So in this case, I'm going to just change that date really quickly. Then you want to go ahead and change your options, or not really change, but set up your options within this list that you see here. So every one of these buttons, once you click it, you'll actually be able to choose which tax code belong to these buttons. Okay, so in this case, this is our sales tax. And so we're going to go ahead and choose these two different sales tax codes that we see here. Now if you would like to highlight more or remove, simply hold down your control button and click, just like so. Okay, now in this case we only want two of those sales tax, so again keep your button on control and click those same to unselect. Okay, so in this case we want to go ahead and keep those two. You want to go all the way down these lists that you see here and choose your tax codes. Again, hold down control and choose as many tax codes as you'd like that actually fits with this line here. So that's what you need to do first, is define every single one of these lines and select your options. Okay, now once you've done that, you want to go ahead and click on options right here and choose your accounting method, whether it's accrual or or cash. Now if you do not know what your accounting method is, you want to make sure that you talk to your accountant or your tax preparer to make sure that you ask them what your accounting method is. They'll be able to really quickly just tell you exactly what that is. Something simple. You can also choose the departments. In this case I have all my departments, but if you'd like to uncheck all, no problem. And then choose which department you'd like to run this VAT report on. Okay, but in this case we're going to keep it as all, and I have mine set on accrual, so that's going to stay the same, and just click OK. Once you've got your options here throughout the list set up, you've also set up your options here. What you would do now is go ahead and choose whether it's quarterly, bi-monthly, or monthly, the beginning date, which in this case we'll just leave it as October, and our current year. Okay, and all you would need to do then is go ahead and click refresh, and every single one of these would now populate with the particular options that you've chosen within here. Okay, you can send this electronically, or you can go ahead and print this. Okay, you can edit this template, you can choose which template you'd like to use, you can even customize the template per the way you'd like it to look like, or even the way your accountant would like it to look like. Okay, but in this case we're not going to print. Once you're all set, you would just go ahead and click save. Now once you've saved that, if you'd like to go back to that list, you would just go right below your first option and click on VAT return list, and here you'll now be able to find your date or your VAT return that we just set up. Okay, so here, go ahead and click on that, and now we'll go ahead and be able to view that same VAT return. Now when you're within your VAT return and you'd like to go ahead and view what makes up these values, it's very simple. All you would need to do is double click in the boxes, just like so. Okay, it's going to ask you if you'd like to go ahead and do that, and here is all the values that make up the total that you saw on the first screen. Okay, so again, really easy to find what makes up these values. All you would need to, once again, is double click, select yes, and it will exactly break down the values of what made up that number. Again, double click and scroll down to view what you'd like to look for. Lastly, there's just one last thing before you run your VAT report, you want to make sure is that your purchases and your sales tax are not commingled. Meaning, let's just go to reports, and if we just go down and scroll to our sales tax, or actually tax report or tax summary, there we go, double click here. Your purchases should have, if your purchases have a value, for instance purchase tax, there shouldn't be a value here within your sales tax, and vice versa. Again, if your sales tax has a value, the purchase tax should not have a value. Same thing. Sales tax has a value, purchase tax does not have a value. If there is a value within here, you would need to double click and make sure you correct that. Again, you need to make sure that they're not commingling. Okay? Once you have all that set up, you can now run your VAT return. Thank you very much for watching.